I told Angie I promised not to cry, but when she brought me in her office and she said, how's your day going? And I said, it's good, stressful, and when she offered me the position, as head men's basketball coach, I couldn't help myself. I just started to cry. It was just, a big weight had lifted off, but at the same time, I knew I was meant to be here. I knew that this was the right place, the right time, and the right moment in my career. And I apologize because I made her start crying. But it was a really good moment, and certainly, something that I'll never forget. But, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. It means a great deal. If you look at my cell phone, I have 400 or 500 unread text messages, emails, direct messages on Twitter, and without the support, love, and everybody, it just means so much. And I will certainly try to get back to each and every one of you. So please bear with me, and if I miss someone, I apologize. It's not, for lack of support and appreciation, but I'll get there. First, I'd like to thank, though, President Curtis, Angie Lansing, the unique circumstances that, this search was run under, with the dead period closing upon us. It's back open today. I spent 2 hours last night on the phone, recruiting, future Sycamores, and it was the first time I could actually tell them, I'm going to be the next head coach here. Those conversations go a little bit better when you take that interim part out of there. So I really appreciate, though, trusting the process, and Dr. Curtis and Angie did a phenomenal job, guiding that through and making it go really fast. A lot of times there's a process to this, and sometimes you want it done the next day, and I obviously did, but it happens, and we got through it, and we're going to be just fine. I'd like to thank my wife, Susan. Thank you for everything. I love you. And, the last several years, some of you know, I live here part-time, drive back and forth, and we do it because of our two lovely daughters, Abby and Lily, to keep them in their high school. And, next year, I'm happy to say Abby's going to be just down the road in Bloomington, be close by, and Lily's got one more year of high school, and then Susan will be down here full-time with me, and we'll be ingrained in the Wabash Valley, and really looking forward to developing a long relationship here in the Wabash Valley. The community, boosters, fans, I cannot thank you for your support, text messages. It really means a lot. I got to speak to a wonderful group of people last night that really care about Sycamore athletics. I'm excited to continue to develop those relationships, as we move forward. The players, thank you guys. Managers, appreciate all of you guys, all your efforts for you being here. It really means a lot. I would not be, standing here, today without you guys, and I greatly appreciate that. This season, was absolutely remarkable. And I know that I am not standing here if it wasn't for our student athletes. And, those student athletes gave us one heck of a ride that, we're going to try our best to duplicate. I want to play in that tournament with 4 letters this next time. So that is the goal. Some of them have texted me. Some of them are actually on visits and out of town, and I completely understand that. I'd like to thank Coach Schertz. He brought me here 3 years ago, and I'm going to talk about the why here in a minute, but I understand I have big shoes to fill. He did a great job, an absolutely outstanding job, but at the end of the day, I understand you got to be One, no more Topo Chico. I'm not a soda water guy. Give me a good Mountain Dew. Managers know this. I try to do one a day. One a day. Game day gets me two sometimes. And then I've actually switched over and tried to do a better job drinking more iced tea. So no more Topo Chico. Secondly, no more confusing me with Coach John shirts. Where you at, Coach Furr? Coach Furr in the back, and I'll talk about him here in a second. But when the officials would come over, they would get really confused looking for Josh and sometimes run into Justin and have a conversation. So, also Justin was our zone defense coach and, the Twitter handle Coach John Shirts. So hopefully we will not, be confused anymore there. And then finally, and I'm going to get Coach on this one, he always gets a jab in on my career scoring at Butler University, where I scored 994 points in my career. And he's like, what happened? Why couldn't you get 1,000? So he always got me on that. But I think between Seth, Rick, I think we have video of me shooting the basketball versus Coach Shirts shooting the basketball before practice. So I'm very confident that my jump shot's a little bit better. So, but in all seriousness, thank you, Josh. I hope you're able to see some of this. I can't thank you enough for the last 3 years, the guidance, the friendship, learning that offense that we all so beautifully love here at Indiana State. And we're going to do our absolute best to not only recruit to that, but play that style of play. And, it's an exciting brand of basketball that we want to continue here at Indiana State. So, why ISU? Okay. My whole life, I was in the Butler bubble. I played there for 5 years, coached there for 12 years, and one of the greatest things that I learned, people are your greatest resource. It's not always about the money. It's not always about having the biggest facilities, the best practice gym, the brightest lights. That's certainly all pieces of it. But at the end of the day, what's the most important thing in building a sustained basketball program is the people that you surround yourself with. And, at Butler, I learned that those are your most important resources. Moved on to South Alabama, and obviously a lot's been made about my time there as head coach, and rightfully so. But the one thing I can tell you is at South Alabama, I learned how to fail. I learned how to fail forward, and I got out of my comfort zone. I went down there, no relationships, no connections, and I took a leap of faith. And ultimately, in this business, you're judged by wins and losses, and I completely understand that. But in those 5 years, the relationships that I made, the mistakes I made, both good and bad, is going to really serve me better moving forward in this program. And I'm so thankful, for Dr. Erdman and those guys giving me my first opportunity. And, that 5 years of on-the-job training is certainly going to serve me well here as your next Sycamore head coach. I spent a year at Evansville after that. My first taste of being in the Missouri Valley. What a league. And Jeff, I appreciate you taking the time to drive over here. Really appreciate that. The Missouri Valley is, in my opinion, the perfect level for me to be at, the perfect conference to be at, because it is one of the premier basketball conferences in all of America. There's great coaches, there's great players, great facilities, and then next to us, other fans, okay? We've got the best fans in the Missouri Valley right here. So I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to going through the Missouri Valley. Went from there to Xavier. At Xavier, I was there for 2 years, part of that during COVID. Able to experience what life was like at the high major level, and a lot of good things at that level, But ultimately, when Josh called 3 years ago and said, hey, I want you to be here with me on day one to build something special, it didn't take any convincing. It didn't take another phone call. I said, when do you need me there? And I'll never forget our first conversation, and some people in this room, I'm looking around, know what I'm talking about. Josh said, one day, I hope I build this program up to where I can leave it for you to be the next caretaker. Now, I didn't think it was going to be in 3 short years, but it just goes to show what you can do. You put your head down, you hire good people, you hire staff, support staff, you recruit excellent young student athletes, you have the support of the community, and we see what was possible. We went on one heck of a ride this year, and it's something that, all of us will never forget. That team is going to live on forever. So now the new era begins. I'm eager to work with a new president, soon to be a new AD at some point. Times are changing, and I just kind of want to give everybody an update where we are now. We currently have 2 players committed on our roster and 1 walk-on. I explained to the group last night that I was talking to that this is the new norm for college basketball. Whether we like it or not, it's the new norm. Whether or not coach had stayed or gone, we were going to have multiple guys in the transfer portal anyway. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Josh listened to some opportunities and was able to make a different choice. That was his personal choice. As I said earlier, I'm not standing here today if it wasn't for these players in coach shirts. There's no chance. The players have earned the right to see what their market value is. That's just the way we live today in this world. It doesn't mean we like it. It doesn't mean we agree with it, but it's the reality that we choose to live in, and that's the way it's going to be. Our job, our staff, we're here to find great young men. Whether we can keep them 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, it doesn't matter. We're going to love them every day. We're going to work hard, and when it's time that they need to go and they have opportunities to better themselves and go to a higher level or maybe make more money, we're going to wish them well, because the more we're doing that, guess what? We're winning basketball games. If we're not winning basketball games at the level we are and the recruiting, the success to the players that we have, they don't have options either. So winning is what we need to do at a high level, and everybody benefits. Whether you like the concept of, Julian Larry is going to go down as one of the best players that ever played here. And the biggest reason why? He's a unicorn. You're not going to find guys that stay at a school for 4 years, hopefully 5, Julian, if you're listening, but 4 years, and really get involved in the community and understand the value that can bring long-term, being at a place all 4 years. That's hard for 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Imagine the choice you would have to make if you're an 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid, and someone's offering you $250,000 to go play basketball somewhere. That's a tough choice. That's a tough choice for, a young man. So my job, the staff, we're here to help, we're here to educate and, try to get them to see the big picture. But if we keep a kid here 2 years and he does a wonderful job for us in the community, helps us win games, then we're going to wish him well and cheer him on at the next spot that he goes. And we're going to bring in the next guy. And that's just the way college athletics is at this point, okay? We have 0 home games right now. As you can imagine, the phone calls, emails, text over the last couple months, nobody was a little bit of crickets. Nobody wants to play. And we saw why in this NIT run that you can't get a high major team to come into the Holman Center because they're going to leave here with a loss. And those high major programs don't want to do that. But I can promise you this. We're going to diligently work on putting together as competitive a schedule as we can. We're not afraid to play anybody, anytime, anywhere. We just would like to play at home a few times because we have the greatest fans in the Missouri Valley. So bear with me on that. The schedule's probably going to take a little longer this year to figure itself out. Finally, working on a staff. Coach Furr there in the back, please raise your hand. Let's give him a round of applause, please. I'm very excited that Coach Furr, his wife Jen, and his family have decided to stay here and jump on board on this next stage, this next journey. He's going to be very vital to continuing our success, the continuity piece. The friendships that we've made over the last 2 years is going to be really vital in helping us continue this program on a great path. A couple of the managers, you guys, we'll see you soon. Zane Latta is going to be back next year, finishing up his last year of GA, and I'm going to still be talking to a couple of these young men here as well. So just wanted to give you a staff update there. And the last little tease I will make on that staff update is, and I can't really say anything yet, but I'm really working on a local guy that all you guys will be familiar with. I don't have to twist his arm too hard. I think he's really excited about the potential possibility of being back in the Holman Center. So I know most of you know who that is, but I'm going to just kind of pause right there and say how excited I would be for him to join our program in the very near future. So, what's next? I was looking at my phone last night about 2 a.m., looking at the calendar, and in 59 short days, it will be June 10th. And everybody's like, well, what's June 10th? Well, June 10th will be the day that the 2024-25 Sycamores will get together for the first time to begin this journey to the next season to make everyone in here proud to be a Sycamore. And in closing, as the caretaker of the Indiana State men's basketball team, you are not going to find anyone that will work harder. You will not find anyone that will be more diligent about embracing the Wabash Valley. And you're not going to find anyone that wants to be here for the long term. I want to finish my career, hopefully in 15 plus years, as the head coach of the Indiana State Sycamores. And I thank you very much for being here, and go Sycamores.